Hey, everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin, a podcast which is mostly about video games. I am Brian Cartwright. I am joined by Rocky Hardy
Yeah, that's me.
and Tegan Somerset.
That's me.
And y'all, I know that you don't necessarily believe this is going to work out, but this case of Nokia N-Gauges that I ordered, they're going to sell.
Yeah, eventually.
Like, we're just waiting for the N-Gauge renaissance. The N-Gauge-assance, if you will. Oh, man. I guess it's not E3 season. You know, it's the phantom limb of E3 season, where E3 used to be. And now there are some press conferences and some game showcases, and then there's a bunch of like little rinky-dink game showcases. And then some noticeably absent game showcases, like here's looking at you, Nintendo. But yeah, there's an awful lot of games that will be coming out news in the last couple of weeks. Any stuff that sticks out to y'all that you want to talk about?
I mean, do we want to go by showcase, or do we just want to be like general?
I guess we could try to do it by showcase. I can tell you what, like, I did not like stuff like the Future Game Showcase. I did not watch the Future Games Showcase and things like that. Like, there were an awful lot of those little, like I said, little rinky-dink showcases, and I just didn't have time for them until like if any news would pop out of them, that caught my attention. Like I would, I hopefully saw it. Like I saw that, like apparently, like there was the IGN Live showcase, and at the IGN Live showcase, there was an announcement that like next year there's going to be a remake of the original Hitman trilogy, which I am like excited about. I wish that like it and footage of it had been somewhere other than the IGN Live showcase. Sure. So I don't know. Like I guess we could do some column A, some column B. Like there were some well organized showcases which had like a lot to offer, and then there were like the rinky dinks. So I'd say like we could do maybe the big showcases, and then like if there's things that popped up outside of that we want to talk about, we can do that too.
All right, that sounds good to me, I guess.
Cool. So when was PlayStation's thing? Was that last weekend?
Yeah. PlayStation was the first showcase, I think.
Yeah. To kick off not E3 week.
Yeah, I miss E3.
Yeah. Same. Let's hear what was
so the big things I pull out of the PlayStation State of Play was number one, new God of War, but it's spin-off God of War focusing on Kratos' wife, God of War Lao Fei.
Yeah. I'd argue it's straight up God of War.
I think it's God of War universe. I don't think it's God of War franchise. Does that make sense? Like, this feels like a Legend of Zelda without Link, you know?
Sure.
And, like, I do think I believe, like, it's gonna be, like, canon to the God of War lore, you know? But I don't know if it's God of War. Because Lao Fei specifically is not a God of War, correct?
Sure, but, like, neither is Kratos.
Yeah, he is! He killed Ares! He took the mantle! He's literally the God of War. Isn't that like the whole thing? Isn't that how his lore works? Am I stupid?
My understanding is that he killed Ares for sure and killed a bunch of gods, both Greek and Norse. I do not believe he's a god himself.
No, I think
I might be wrong about that. If that's the case, cool. But that's not what I remember.
But she's it seems like her thing is going to be going through the various underworlds, which I am for. I'm down.
Cool.
You know?
I don't know. I the way I see it, Laufey has air combos, and to me, that's more God of War than this recent trilogy.
That's fair.
Ooh, no, that's Rocky. I think you keyed in on an interesting point, because when God of War came back and it became like Kratos the dad,
right?
And all of a sudden he had a beard and no access to his emotions. The gameplay was very, very different than the PS2 Gods of War.
Yep.
Ooh.
I am very excited to meet the woman who did that to Kratos. You know? I'm very excited.
Laufey looks
to meet
sick,
the woman who turned Kratos into a dad. You know? I think it's gonna be good. It looks good. It looks fun.
I think so too.
Let's see here. Until Dawn 2. I think it's kind of weird and funny that Until Dawn 2 is being made by a different team than the original Until Dawn, because the original Until Dawn team has just kind of like turned themselves into like a cottage industry of making the same kind of horror game, but like making it available on like all platforms. Like they put out like 2 of those things a year. Like they just put out one, which is like a space horror game. Like I think like last week or the week before, and they put them out so frequently that they refer to them as seasons. This one set in space is the first one of season 2. So like, I wonder if Until Dawn 2 is going to have the same juice as the first one, because it's a new dev.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Let's see here. Something that they showed at the PlayStation Showcase that got me excited was Stuntman Hollywood.
For sure.
Yeah, because it's been forever since we had a game in the Stuntman series. And like I historically like driving games which are specifically about doing weird, dumb bullshit with your car. Like, you fly it off this ramp through this ring of explosions, etc., etc. That stuff's neat and fun. And like, there have been less and less of those over the years, because like car manufacturers are more and more hesitant to like show their vehicles being damaged in video games. So it feels like kind of like a dying breed of a genre. And I wonder if the reason that they were able to thread this needle is because Stuntman Hollywood is specifically showing them doing like real stunts from real film and like television, like doing the drive down the street to get up to 88 miles an hour in Back to the Future, etc.
Maybe.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the new Silent Hill?
No. I don't do spooky games though. You know? So it makes sense that I wouldn't have any thoughts on it. It'll probably end up in my house, you know? But I won't have anything to do with it. Control Resonant. That's gonna be good. That's in my house already. I can't wait. That's already available for pre-order. We're planning on it. We're setting aside time. We're taking off work.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Alex is a huge, huge Control fan, so we're very excited about that one. It looks great. More people should play Control. Control and Alan Wake. If you like big story games that are interconnected, you should play Control and also Alan Wake. Anyway. There's a new Tomb Raider. I'm excited that Lara Croft is still around.
Yeah. This I guess the next Tomb Raider up is the remake of Tomb Raider 1, which was originally supposed to come out this fall, but like so many games, it got out of the way of Grand Theft Auto 6, and moved to February. And I think it looks neat. Like I can definitely see what they're going for with like the art style and the presentation of Lara Croft. Like it looks like they're trying to like bridge the Lara Croft we know from like the reboot trilogy to like the Lara Croft we know from like the original series. I'm like, oh, okay, like this. It feels like it makes sense.
Earlier this week, Aftermath published a story where the developers of the new Tomb Raider game says they use AI-assisted tools to iterate on ideas. So I'm not sure about it. Crystal Dynamics, right? That's the one we're talking about?
I was talking about Legacy of Atlantis.
Yeah, there's a disclaimer on their Steam page. Actually, when you click into the Steam page, it says AI generated content disclosure, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. The developers describe how their game uses AI generated content like this. AI assisted tools were used during development to support some early exploration and temporary development content. Any AI assisted assets were either replaced or refined by humans in order to maintain the creative and artistic vision of the development team.
I see. Well, off the list it goes. Goodbye. I'm not dealing with any of that. What do you mean? You don't think your concept artists are worth it? It sounds like?
I don't know.
No thanks.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately, because of who's publishing this, I now have to do a deep sigh and a disclaimer. My opinions do not reflect and should not be interpreted as the opinions or positions of my employer, Amazon. My opinions are my own. And I think that when it comes to creative endeavors, there's just no room for generative AI. We got, especially with something like Lara Croft, like there is a wealth of like historical reference materials. There's the original game. the original game has been remastered once. Plus, there's all of like the intervening sequels and reboots and films. Like there's if we're looking for like jump off, places for concept artists to jump off from, there's all kinds of stuff they can get their arms around. There's no reason to be like, dear robot, could you please guzzle a gallon of water and show me a T-Rex that looks like a Tomb Raider T-Rex would look like now? Like we don't need to do that. There's no call for that. It's unnecessary.
I like the opposite of AI. I generate one well thought out idea. It takes me like a day and a half to do it. I drink no water during the entire creation process. You know? Let me do it instead. I don't know. No longer interested. That was easy. That's one less game I have to play. Crazy.
I was glad to see Ikumi Nakamura show up and have a game, because I really feel like she got a unfair shake from the world with the way things panned out with Ghostwire Tokyo, that Tango game works. So hoping that this Kimori thing is, I guess, fun and sells well.
It looks good.
People are excited about it. I have some questions.
What are the questions?
I have concerns about I wonder. No, hold on. Let me actually form this as a question. Give me a second. I got to change the channel to Jeopardy. Is the co-op mandatory or not? How much customization is really possible outside of progression? There was a write-up on Rock Paper Shotgun that included more than just the trailer, not just impressions, but seemed to be some information from a press release that suggested that the game's gameplay is something more akin to an always online game where you have where you need 3 people essentially to complete a mission, and they have very specific tasks. The game seems to be distinctly not soloable. And I wonder how that will affect the reception of the game or its ability to spread. I think it's cool conceptually. I love asymmetrical experiences, but I wonder how they will balance those needs when people are just trying to pick up and play.
It's tough enough to find time to game. Having to round up 2 people.
It doesn't exactly seem instant, which is something else also. At least the Rock Paper Shotgun write-up seems to imply that if you can sign in or log on or start playing on your own, but there will be other people in the vicinity based on server population or something. Again, it's unclear. The information is just not available at the moment, but it seems neat as long as it works.
So I can get yelled at by randoms?
I don't know if there's voice chat. They didn't say.
Okay.
You also can just turn off voice chat, you know?
True enough.
Let's see here. What else was at the PlayStation event? Boncho the Chef.
Okay.
A prequel to Dave the Diver, focusing on cooking minigames.
I see. No, thank you.
I spent a shitload of time on Wolverine, where we found out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were calling shoulder hair the new horse testicles. I forgot.
Yeah. Uh, where we find out that Wolverine is not open world. What they describe it as um, a semi-open linear cinematic experience, which
I
is a
think that's fine.
yeah,
Like it's big maps. They load in their missions. Like it's okay. That's how the X-Men work. You know, like Wolverine wasn't just walking around and shit. Like they sent him
yeah,
places and he did shit and then he came back.
yeah. Wolverine should not take a break to go play tennis. You know,
I don't know. Like I get the idea that people always want the possibility, and like I'd argue that it's not always necessary. Like sometimes they're selling you an experience.
right, right. Like not every game needs to be Zelda or Grand Theft Auto. We don't need everything to be open world.
Board games could be Zelda. I want to throw that one out there, but I'm picking up what you're putting down, Brian.
Yeah, yeah. Um, do I think open world is beneficial to some games' experiences? Absolutely. But I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with like a linear action game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's it. The state of play.
Okay.
So what's the next event that one of you all would like to touch on?
I gotta be real with you, Brian. I have not been paying attention to individual stage shows. I've just been picking up announcements that seem interesting to me and not
Sure.
tracking what show they came from.
Okay. Well, what are some announcements that seemed interesting to you?
I think it's cool that some of the things that have been due are showing up now. Like Fields of Mystria has a 1.0 date now, which is cool. That's gonna be August 5th this year. It is a Stardew like I think it was announced maybe at the Wholesome Direct, but I honestly don't remember. Um, and so like I'm interested to see what the 1.0 actually looks like on this. There's a new announcement for the dev of Yuppie Psycho. I'm spacing on their name right now. I can grab it in a second. But they're making a new game called Catechesis, which seems to be following a like demon possessed altar boy, and like it's it's pixel art. It's for most of it, but the writing of Yuppie Psycho still sticks with me. And this one's interesting because while Yuppie Psycho was like a like kind of like an 8-bit adventure game. This one is adding combat, and I'm interested to see what this team does with combat. Um, and like the designs on this game are fucking killer, to be honest. Baroque Decay is apparently the name of the studio. That's nuts.
I sent you I think the trailer for it also on when I saw it. And just like the vibes of the trailer remind me of Persona. The way this kid like
Real.
cuts his arm open and makes a gun out of his blood. Like that feels Persona like inspired, or like Beyond the Boundary, the anime Beyond the Boundary, like a pull
Yeah.
from that, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And so like this seems cool. It has a demo out, so like it's on my list of things to touch. I might do it this coming Monday, or I guess Monday a week ago for whoever's listening to this or whatever. So you'll probably know how I feel about it then. But yeah, this looks neat. The sophomore production from the In Stars and Time dev has a demo out as well, Truth Scrapper. The announcement came like a year ago or so, but we've only had images so far, and this seems to be more of like a visual novel sort of thing. But I was interested in Stars of Time more for its writing than its like mechanics. And so this seems like more of the same, and maybe an opportunity to focus and refine. That could be cool. I've heard good things about the demo so far, even though it's only a few hours old at this point. Um, but that is also something that I'm planning to dig into soon. Um, Demon School apparently is getting DLC later this year. They're getting like a side quest with like kind of like more intense puzzling, where like their final challenges are their distinct puzzles that are meant to be solved in a single turn. So like the short runtime of like combat is still seems to be on board, and that seems neat. I mentioned on a previous show I recently finished it, and you get to experience like all the endings at once, of which there are 13, which is kind of nuts. So I'm glad that they're still doing stuff. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. And this is definitely, I think this is also, because I know they did a big free update like a week ago. And I guess like the DLC is going to be a paid thing later this year. And they just got okayed to be on Switch 2, which is nice. I don't know. I have a few other things, but I definitely don't just want to be sitting here like buffeting here. Does anyone else have anything else they wanted to talk about?
I do want to ask you actually about the Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh yeah, Ascendance looks great,
Yeah.
honestly. I didn't watch that that was in the Summer Games Fest. I know that one for sure because I distinctly did not have time to watch that one. But I didn't actually watch it. Hennessy told me about it. He mentioned that that was something that I needed to pay attention to, because he wants to play again, and that makes sense to me. Um, and Ascendance seems to be following like a key plot point that was revealed at the end of Wilds, that there was an ancient civilization that had fully mastered the natural elements, including gravity, and there is like a remnant of like their civilization that is visible from where you are in the wilds, and so the DLC is going to be exploring that. There's usually a mechanical like addition, in addition to like the added difficulty of like G rank or master rank that they normally add with a DLC like this. They're adding Elder Dragons back. Lao Shang Long, which is like a historic like super monster, was teased. But Ascendance is really standing out to me with its new like mechanical tool, seems to be like a rocket gauntlet that seems to make like everything faster. Like Great Sword, which is more of a slab of metal than like a real sword, is moving like long sword, which is like anime bullshit. Gun lance allows you to swing the lance about as fast as like sword and shield, which feels outrageous. Like it reminds me a lot of like Metal Gear Solid 3 Revengeance in like scale of action. And so that seems really cool. I don't know much else about it from like I mean I watched the trailer and it looks beautiful, which is, their deal. That's what we're doing now. And the game seems like it's just going up a gear, but you have a lot more flying enemies and like you're twice as fast. It feels like also like a distinct departure from like what they were trying to do with Monster Hunter Rise, where you were a lot more mobile in that game, but in like a Spider-Man floaty kind of way. And the Ascendance differs from that because they give you like outright speed rather than mobility tools, and like the weight of like your actions aren't like lost. It's just you're not feeling it as much. And I'm interested to see how they thread that needle. It could be a bust, but like Capcom has been pretty good about delivering on these expansions uh, in basically every iteration since like fucking Monster Hunter 3. So I might come back for this one, and then I need to replay it on PC anyway. So that's probably where I'll end up doing it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, ooh, ooh,
It looks good,
It does look good.
I hope it feels good because that was one of my beats with like Wild, like outright. Everything felt really buttery, in a way that was like missing the sauce of like Monster Hunter. Like Monster Hunter is about like wielding something that is unwieldy and then being the person that can like swing it. And Wilds just felt like, oh, I already know how to do all of this, and I feel like everything is melting in front of me, and that kind of sucked. And so like, it's not a bad video game. It's definitely not even a bad action game. It's just like it doesn't feel like a good Monster Hunter game. And so I wonder if this like expansion will address those concerns.
That's fair.
I
hope so. I hope it does.
Same.
Because it looked like it's going to be good.
True. Oh, also not to be a bummer, but speaking of things that look like they're going to be good, there's this game Threads of Time that has been like repeatedly teased over the years. It looks a lot like, beloved Super Nintendo RPGs like Chrono Trigger and like Xenogears, and the devs even like mention them by name when they talk about them like in its trailers. But like there's not a lot of gameplay for it so far. The idea is that it's you are piloting this, or like you're captaining a like time traveling ship to rebuild an order of something called the Time Knights, and you like pull people from various times from like 12 million BC to like a futuristic 2048. And everything's turn based. They did mention in like the latest trailer a little bit more about like how each recruitable character will like manipulate time in their own way, but there are no details about it. And I feel like every time they talk about this or release something new about this game, I want to know more about it. But at this stage, because I think it was like announced in like 2020, I think, I'm starting to feel like I want to know more about it derogatory. Like, tell me more about this or else. Because I just feel like there's like it almost feels like they don't have much to show. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I
they're
feel like if
hiding
this
something.
was yeah, and like they talk about the people they're working with, and like they talk about like the influences that are important to them, and they attach a personal story to it. But like I don't know, this was supposed to be a gameplay trailer, you know what I mean? And it wasn't even like a deep dive like mini documentary that was like 15 minutes long. This was like in like a 2-minute day of the dev spot. And like they're just like it feels more like they're desperately trying to stay in people's minds as opposed to producing a video game. And
yeah, that's not
that
great.
doesn't feel good. Right.
No, that doesn't sound good either,
Right. And so like I don't know. Like I hope it's great. I really hope that like that me and other people get to touch and play this video game and experience both like a new adventure that's tinged with memories of like previous good feelings, but I don't know if we're getting that. And like there's nothing for me to do about it.
On a scale of 1 to Tommy Tallarico giving people a ride in his Ferrari before serving them a spaghetti dinner, where are you on the this seems like a farce like scale? Like do you like if they're 6 years deep into a dev cycle, like yeah, that does start to like cross a threshold, doesn't it?
Give me a second. I'm gonna show you guys this trailer while you're doing this, but like oh no, that's a camera. I don't need that. I need to switch screens. Excuse me. But like this game, I have to double check if it's actually 2020 because like maybe I'm misremembering because like the last like 4 years have felt like 30 years in its own way. But like a week ago, I would have told you 4, Brian. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they're gonna release this video game. That's fine, But like today, it feels like a 7. Like sincerely, like it's not an outright scam, and it's definitely not an obvious one. But like I am more scrutin. I have more scrutiny for this game than I thought I initially had.
Okay, so we're not up to rides in the Ferrari and spaghetti dinner yet.
Yeah, no, like this isn't an outright scam. Like I'm not watching people getting blown up or whatever. But like I was excited when I saw a new trailer for this, and then when I like watched the trailer, I feel like I saw almost nothing.
Oh, okay. Then I've got a different scale that might be more helpful. On a scale of
Sure,
1 to Peter Molyneux guarantees that the trees that you hit with swords in Fable will show the damage from the swords years later.
Yeah, that's closer to like a 9, maybe an 8.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like it's not the same thing. Like I feel like they're overpromising because they want it to be like this huge, incredible thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I have to say this may be longer than a 6-year dev cycle. I'm looking at their official press kit, and it looks like the studio, of which this is the only game they've been working on this entire time, was founded in October of 2015.
Oh no.
Right.
Oh no.
Like they're trying to do it, like they're making their calls and like they're like presenting themselves to the faithful and everything, and that's cool. But like, I don't know if I need to be one of those.
How long have they? Okay, so if they've been at this since 2015, how are they funding? Where are they getting money?
Dude, I don't know. I truly don't. I have no idea.
And there's some stuff that they would need to account for. Like if they've been at this since 2015, we've reached the end of a console generation and started a new one since then.
Right.
So like, what happened to like? Is it just these two dudes?
Maybe. They say that they're working with like composers, and they in this trailer they say that they have artists that they're collaborating with have worked on like Deltarune and stuff. But like
I mean, like,
I don't know, man.
If they just have like some like freelance artist and a composer, but like the primary work is just being done by two dudes, then like maybe I could see it, because it sounds like an enormous lift, and if it's just about solo dev because of the the size of the workforce, like I could see how it would take forever, and it would also explain how they're continuing to fund, because I'm guessing that it would be like they're doing just like outside of whatever keeps the roof over their own individual heads.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, as an aside here, I just have to say here, choir, we're not the choir here. Ramblers, whoever the hell you are, listen to me. Do not read Steam forums. Don't fucking do it. It's not worth it. I have never found a single piece of information that's been useful here. I just clicked into Threads of Times' like discussion so I could try to find like a date when this came out, like try to sleuth that out. The top post here is devs, please learn from the mistakes of Sea of Stars. Like that's a bad video game or something. Like there's just this insane amount of cynicism that's like baked into this environment, and I just like truly don't know what they're talking about.
One of the things there are things.
Also, first trailer was 2024.
One of the things we kind of like started with here at the top was saying I miss E3, which I think is fair in one hand, but the thing that we can't miss E3 without also missing having a robust, well-funded, sophisticated bunch of writers and video journalists who would cover E3. Like, it was great when like there were things like OneUp.com and GameSpot and Giant Bomb and Destructoid. When there were all of these like great outfits out there that would go cover E3, and like have like very helpful on the ground takes and be like, yeah, I went to their booth. These people are full of shit. Like, and we don't really have much of that because of the collapse of the games journalism industry anymore. So like, people like us are like kind of left to watch a trailer and go like, I don't know, maybe they're for real, huh? Because there are not as many boots on the ground in Los Angeles anymore, and a lot of people who are there are fucking influencers, which means that like they're going to say whatever they see is great because they want to continue to have someone to pay for their airfare.
Right. Okay, hold on. I've found some more. Apparently, the first time Threads of Time was seen on SteamDB was on July 14, 2022, which is closer to what I actually remember. So that may be the first time this game like was mentioned in someone's like ear someday. So it's been about 4 years.
Okay. That's not so bad. That's not as bad.
Yeah.
Right.
There is a world difference between 2015 and 2022.
Right.
I mean, still, if it's only two guys, though, you know?
Yeah, if it's just two guys. Like, if there's two guys, let them cook, you know? That's what I mean. But, like, I don't know. I feel
also, like it's gotta be, if it's two guys and they're not just getting funding, they're also, like, working additional full-time jobs to support themselves while they're doing that. 10 years makes perfect sense to me, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. And, like, that's fair. But, like, what I juxtapose it with is something more like Kingdoms of the Dump, which is an incredible, like, SNES style JRPG that was released last year. And that was like a labor of love made by like effectively a janitor who's like just teaching themselves to code and trying to make a game that they were personally proud of. And I heard nothing about it until 6 months before it came out. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like Threads of Time is taking a very different approach where they're trying to take up like, you know, cultural space when they don't have much to show for it. That's what I'm beefing with personally.
It's a hell of a thing because to be an indie game is such a huge roll of the dice because so many of these stores out there are organized for shit. Once again, shout outs to Nintendo, whose store is very terrible. And like, let's say you have that labor of love that you've invested years into and you've taught yourself to code and you're like, this game slaps. There's a lot of games out there that slap that will never connect to an audience because they get lost in the sea. We used to have a recurring segment on this show about the signal to noise ratio in Steam's release schedule any given day. Fucking Apple Snake, baby. And how like because of how much crap gets put out on these like storefronts, like there are like perfectly great video games which never connect to an audience.
It started as Revolver or Starlight Revolver got canceled.
Like it, you know, like was it like Day Repeat Day? Like when I did the interview related to like Day Repeat Day, and he's like, "Yeah, I've sold 30 copies on Steam."
Yeah.
Like oh Jesus, that's terrible.
Satori's doing well right now, though.
Yeah. And like, and I'm glad that man, the way he managed the development of Sectori was like, he was like very public with it, like talking about like exactly what he was doing week to week.
Sure, yeah.
Which is I guess the opposite of what you're talking about with Threads of Time. Like, like Sectori would be like, oh, I don't think that the weight of the gunfire on this particular weapon feels right, so I spent the week remapping the collision physics of this particular weapon.
Also, coming back to Sabotage Studios, they did the very same thing with like Sea of Stars. They had an incredibly public dev cycle when they were building that game.
Yeah. And I am glad to see that like Sectori is doing so well. Let's see here. So there was a the Jeff Keighley keynote featuring Jeff Keighley, starring Jeff Keighley, brought to you by Jeff Keighley. Let's see, what was that? Capcom seems to try to be telling us that Resident Evil Code Veronica is Resident Evil 5 now, which I think is kind of hilarious.
Honestly, good riddance to Resident Evil 5.
I mean, I agree.
Let's give it a 6 while we're at it. Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah.
That wasn't the vibe I got, but like, I believe you.
Okay. There was a little something about like the way they did the title treatment for the key art, where they're like, because they're no longer calling it Resident Evil Code Veronica, they're calling it Resident Evil Veronica, with like with a little bit larger V. Is it like see like Resident Evil Veronica? Like, oh, as in V for 5. Like okay, all right. If Capcom wants to pretend that Resident Evil 5 and 6 never happened, and then bury them in a like concrete bunker somewhere, I'm good with that. Like I don't think we need to revisit Resident Evil Super Racist Edition again.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants 6. No, like, you know what? If you listen to this show and you enjoyed Resident Evil 6, I would love to hear from you. Reach us by whatever method you can. I want to hear from a Resident Evil 6 enjoyer. I have sincere questions. I will not come at you. I want to know what you like about it. Let's see here. Alien Isolation 2. I'm not particularly gassed up about that.
I mean, it's more Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
I didn't play Isolation, but it was recommended to me. I'm glad they're making a second one. That's fine.
A new Fumito Ueda game. So if that's your jam, another one of those.
Among Us is getting a story.
True.
And
be cool.
Tupac Shakur is in Stranger Than Heaven.
That is an extraordinary bummer, actually.
Yeah.
For people who aren't aware, Tupac Shakur's family and the estate that controls Tupac Shakur's stuff are different things. The family does not control his estate. It's a big issue.
Right.
They are upset about him appearing in places post-mortem. So, let's keep that in mind while you're playing that game.
Yeah, right. Or, you could skip it. I mean, there's plenty of other Yakuza to play.
Yeah, like, and I guess what's a bummer is, like, I was actively looking forward to Stranger Than Heaven. Like, it looked like it was really ambitious, like, taking the whole, like, Yakuza thing and being like, okay, like, here's a neighborhood and just do whatever you can in this neighborhood, but, like, having it take place over, like, 8 different time periods in, like, the space of 130 odd years. It's like, that's really cool. Like, what does this street look like now? What does this street look like now? Like, what's going on here? Like, that was a great hook for, like, that, like, really tiny open world game. But now that just feels gross. A new Platinum Ninja Turtles game.
Good for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's just a thing that just makes sense.
I really like that they're adapting the comic. Honestly, I think that's super cool.
Bloober Team, the folks who are making that, like they seem to be making, like, horror games constantly. They made a Silent Hill remake. Bloober Team is also making a Star Trek horror game.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I don't really have much in the way of thoughts on Crossfire. I feel like my complaints about what they've shown so far about Crossfire are that, like, we don't know enough about how it feels different. They're like, yeah, this revolutionizes the way you interact with cover. Like, okay. Great. Like, I can't tell that from a cinematic. I don't, like a cinematic does not explain to me mechanically how cover is different. Virtua Fighter.
Good for them.
How do you feel about wandering around a Yakuza-style open world in between fights in Virtua Fighter?
I mean, they did it for Street Fighter 6 and it was cool.
I don't care. It's just not my cup of tea. That's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
1666 Amsterdam.
Now that's my cup of tea.
Yeah.
That looked good, yeah. You get to be a witch in Amsterdam with a cat familiar who's trying to use magic to fight demons. Sounds like a great time. honestly. Sounds like being a woman, actually.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know? I'm excited.
I
think it
am
looked
surprised this
good.
game exists. I'm glad this game exists. Like,
why are you surprised?
Because this game was originally a game that was placed at Ubisoft over 10 years ago. The lead dev is the creator of the Assassin's Creed series. And once he was done with the original Assassin's Creed series, his follow-up was 1666 Amsterdam, which was in development at Ubisoft till they canceled it. But fortunately, the terms of his contract allowed him to own the IP. So after Ubisoft shit-canned the game, he was able to take it somewhere else. So yeah, it's a very, like, a game that was announced and canceled 10 years ago exists.
Remember, guys, when you join a studio, make sure you continue to own your own IP.
Yeah. Man. And, like, I mean, if you're like, I'm the guy who created Assassin's Creed, then you're definitely going to be able to, like, put together funding somewhere eventually.
Sure.
But, like, good for him. I mean, it looks cool as hell. Like, I'm with you, Tegan. Like, that looks neat.
It looks neat. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm also tentatively in Gen Atlas, which looks like full-on dystopian Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. You know?
Yep,
I hear that.
I like a good mech. I like a good little mech head that controls a bigger mech body. You know? But the little mech head is its own independent mech. That sounds fun to me. I don't know. It just looks neat.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's potential there. I want to see more though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Final Fantasy VII Revelation.
I do not care.
Good riddance.
I don't care about Final Fantasy. And when Nintendo eventually announced the Ocarina of Time remake, I'm probably not going to care about that either.
Rocky, how do you feel about Tifa coming to Street Fighter 6?
I think it's cool, but for some reason I can't feel anything about it. Mostly because I don't think they didn't show any gameplay. They just said Tifa's here, and I'm like, that's cool. What's she doing? I think also, and I might be making this up, but I don't think I am. Tifa was in Tekken 7? And like I didn't play there.
Are they gonna give her the rich girl sweep though? Or the white girl sweep? You know?
She doesn't need it, but they might.
She doesn't need it, but will they?
Because like Tifa Lockhart is a white woman, so like she probably will get the sweep. Or at least some goofy ass normal.
I'm sorry, what is the white girl sweep?
I'll get you some images. 1 second.
It's basically it's a leg sweep, but the girl like drops down to the ground and then kicks both of her legs out. You know?
Yeah,
it's that move.
It's very silly. It's always like plus on block. It's incredibly useful, and basically every like white girl character in fighting games has it. I think this is like a compilation. This might be a compilation, but if it's not,
it's a couple girls like hitting the pose, so you can see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a rich white girl sweep.
It is not all rich white girls, but it is always the same.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ladiva does have it. That's so funny.
There's a fan service component to this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why they give it to girls, you know?
Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah.
I feel like they already announced that game.
I think it was an update, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we got the announcement a year ago, and now it's like, hey, look, here's footage of it.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like, I feel like I've seen this before, but maybe I'm crazy. No.
Also, Palworld's going 1.0, which should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, I meant to ask, Brandon, are you interested in Hot Wheels Infinite Rush?
Yeah, like I am a big fan of, like I said, like stupid car games.
Sure.
Yeah, and um, like Hot Wheels Infinite Rush, like having like yes, drive around this kind of like Hot Wheelsy world where like loop de loops just exist. Um, that looks like fun. That looks like fun. Uh, yeah. Okay, so like there was a sequel to Stellar Blade announced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I am convinced that Stellar Blade exists in the space of our cultural fabric, which is currently abandoned by Bayonetta. Um, and so I just have to say, like, Bayonetta, please reclaim your mantle, Queen, please.
That'd be cool. But there's been a lot of buzz about like this announcement that I've been listening to, and I think I agree where like um management has largely pivoted away from like the enthusiastic claim to sexuality of women in video games in favor of like a leering forced sexuality upon presumably unwilling participants. And that sucks, but I don't know if I'd really call it a market problem. I think it's more of a management problem. I'm not
Yeah,
entirely sure how that gets fixed. Like it just maybe we just gotta uh
I think we got to kill
keep an
these
eye out.
guys.
I wish that would be enough. I'm so for real for you, Teeks, but like
I know.
there are like at least 1,000 guys waiting to take the Stellar Blade guy's place, and they may even be worse. You know what I mean? Like
I'm killing those guys too, though, is the thing. Like when I say we got to kill those guys, I mean them and everybody who comes after them. Like this is stupid. This is stupid and dumb.
right.
This
I
is
guess
like
this is one of
it's like incel light behavior, you know?
it is. But the reason I have pause is that like those guys are also kind of an AU Yoko Taro. Like, not in practice, for sure, but they're sort of cut from the same cloth. That's why Yoko Taro is cool with these guys, because they see, like, brazen sexuality in video games. But
Mm,
Taro, like, seems to understand that, like, that belongs to the character as opposed to the audience. And the audience can enjoy it, but it doesn't belong to them. And I think, like, there are definitely people who are making games or interested or like developing or et cetera, that are making games that are about this kind of claimed sexuality, but
mm-hmm.
like they're not in the rooms that the Stellar Blade people are in, you know? And like there is a solid argument that because there's like a machine that is piloted by people like Grums is part of the reason why the Stellar Blade people get to keep being in these rooms. And like I'm wondering if like killing them is not the answer, but like we might just actually need to be louder than them or like at least show that there are more of us than there are of them.
I feel like the main I feel like the main reason that this comes up with Stellar Blade, like around in the conversation around Stellar Blade specifically, isn't just like the costumes. It's that like, and this happened with the first game. I don't know if the second game has actually the same main character, or if she's like a slightly different main character. But
Different character.
in the first Stellar Blade game, they made her head. They modeled her head bespoke in like The Office. Like, she's not based on anybody, but her body is specifically based on a 34-year-old Korean model that the producers thought was super hot, which is like fair, you know?
Okay.
She's super hot. And I feel like the problem is her head looks like she's 15, you know? And we're getting the same problem again, where we have like little kid head and like adult woman body. And so, like, to me, it doesn't matter like how in control of her own sexuality she is at that point. Like, that's a kid, you know?
Right. But in this one, and I might be wrong about it. I would love to be corrected on it, but I'm pretty sure the model is not like adult coded, but like they've added physics to it that make it leering.
Yeah. Gross. Gross. That shit's disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate it here.
I feel like part of what's happening is that because there is no Bayonetta, essentially, that there are enough like horny people that like Stellar Blade is able to clean up without like an actual market alternative. I think, you know, like I don't think there's enough yelling that will make this game a failure, if that makes sense. And so the market needs to be serviced in a better way, which might necessitate elevating other products. But it sucks all the way down. But like burning it down does not solve the problem as far as I am concerned.
So you're saying we need to relocate the attention?
Yeah, exactly. If
we burn it down and we relocate the attention, what if we do both?
I'm okay with doing both, but like what I'm saying is that if we burn it down and it doesn't change, I'm gonna be like, cool, let's move on to the next thing.
Oh my god.
I'm glad to see that. Looks like Destructoid led exactly with your point, Tegan. They said Stellar Rain, Blood Rain's protagonist looks like a kid, so it is gross to see her sexed up in the trailer.
Yeah, thanks. Cool.
So, like, devs are like, yeah, we were heavily inspired by Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah, but, like, not in a way that matters, you know?
Yeah,
like,
sir, as a Battle Angel Alita enjoyer, it's possible you may have fucking missed the boat. Like,
right.
You know, Jesus. And also, horny people. I'm speaking to the horny people now, and you know who you are. You don't have to buy this fucking video game. You don't. Just go on Steam. There are any number of products available for you. You don't have to buy this.
I agree there's something, and I agree they don't have to buy it, but like this is one that's getting like the shine, you know what I mean, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's not nothing.
Isn't there like a new Dead or Alive coming? Like, can't they buy that?
I think there's a new Dead or Alive coming. I have no idea when it's coming.
Let's see here.
The new Gundam Orbit actually looks surprisingly good. Like it very much looks like the experience of like being a Gundam pilot TM. And I think it's because they've taken a page out of like Armored Core, like specifically. Like if Armored Core 6 did not do as well as it did, they would not have been brave enough to make this video game. Historically, Gundam, while like the models look good, movement has always been like slow and clunky. But then like you'll watch the anime and like you'll see like ace like Gundam pilots do insane shit, and you just can't do that in the video games. And like this feels like closer to bridging the gap, which is pretty cool.
Everything is hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cuphead.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And what's great about Cuphead is Cuphead bridges directly into another piece of news I want to talk about. So
Uh-huh.
they announced not one but two new Cuphead games.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they did it, I loved it. The puppet at the desk, like the very Muppet influenced announcement. I dug it. When announcing the lead new game, there was a very specifically chosen word, which was hand drawn. I was like, oh, okay, all right. They know what we're here for. And then within the Cuphead announcement, they did the whole and one more thing, and announced this game, Mighty Cuphead Adventure. And oh man, which is far enough along in development that there is footage, and boy howdy, the footage looks great. It's very specifically evoking influences of licensed platformers from the 90s. Like there is some there was a use of sunglasses in the announcement that read like a very direct reference to the Cool Spot platformer for SNES and Genesis. Like they're trying to make us think of like these mascot platformers, many of whom were licensed. The pose in the key art for Mighty Cuphead Adventure looks like the front of the box for Super Mario Brothers 3. But the wildest thing about the announcement of Mighty Cuphead Adventure is the platforms on which it will be available. Y'all catch this? Mighty Cuphead Adventure will be released on modern consoles, PC, and Sega Master System.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think that's really cool.
Because it is coming out for Sega Master System, they had to write this fucker in assembly. Jesus. I'm super impressed. Now, what
system are you going to get it for, Brian?
I mean, I don't know what's going on. And the reason I say I don't know what's going on is that we have briefly talked about on this show the announced re-release of the Neo Geo, and the company behind the manufacturing of the new Neo Geo. They also have handled the manufacturing of new consoles for Atari, and they have said that they have a project in the works for another hardware manufacturer. Like they're doing a console for somebody else, and at the same time that this Mighty Cuphead Adventure news broke, a leak hit related to the Game Gear. It looks like Sega is gearing up to re-release the Game Gear.
I did see that they were looking around to try to build a low-cost or handheld. So that might be the case.
Yeah. So my question is Sega about to hit us with like re-releases of multiple consoles? Are we getting Master Systems and Game Gears and Genesis? And then there was also
like that more than like the Super game.
Oh. And then there was a whole bunch of confusion around the leak of the footage of the new Jet Set Radio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because people were like, why is it that the footage of the new Jet Set Radio that got leaked only available in 720p? And I'm like, well,
I mean, it's a leak, So, like, it could be that. Probably not, but, like, it could be. You never know.
I'm
just going to throw it out there. Y'all can tell me to Brian stop, but what if the reason that the footage of the new Jet Set Radio is in 720p is that the new Jet Set Radio will also be available for the original Dreamcast?
That could be cool.
Yeah. The combination of like the reliable leaks of a new Game Gear, Mighty Cuphead Adventure being announced for the Sega Master System, it feels like there's some wheels turning around old Sega hardware. Like we know that like Sega will never return to like new hardware just because it's just cost prohibitive to get into that space at this point. But it's not cost prohibitive to re-enter the market with their old hardware.
It's a move for sure.
Yeah. I mean, especially if the games that you release on the old hardware are simultaneously available for like modern platforms. So that way you can like you'll probably get a lot of people who double dip who are like, "Oh, I'll pick it up for, PC and Master System." Yeah. How would y'all feel about Sega console re-releases?
I mean, it'll probably like pump up the secondary market. I don't know if it depends on how much like Sega commits to like recreating like carts even for like the greatest hits.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be a good business decision for them. I don't know how much it affects me.
Sure.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Fair.
I never played any of the Sega systems growing up, So,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, another couple like retro and retro adjacent announcements that I thought were interesting, and then we could, I guess, swing into Microsoft. Atari has announced a collection of Barbie games. 16 Barbie games from 1994 to 2007 in a collection called Barbie Rewind.
Good for the Barbie girlies.
Yeah. It'll be across a variety of genres, and it'll include like historical material related to each title. There will be a deluxe physical edition, which comes with an exclusive Barbie wearing an Atari T-shirt. I just think that's neat. One of the games that will be included in the package is a game called Barbie Vacation Adventure that was originally scheduled for the Genesis and Super Nintendo and was canceled before release, and so this will be the first official release of Barbie Vacation Adventure.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's a remaster coming of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee.
There need to be more of those games floating around. I know someone took a try a couple years ago. It didn't go if they wanted, but there should be more of them.
And I guess a thing that bridges us into discussing the Microsoft showcase is Crazy Taxi. World Tour got announced at the Microsoft showcase, which, as the show's representative old man, I was very excited about. I think I hooted and hollered when we saw that.
I remember I was there.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, you know what, Rocky? I have a question.
Sure.
Do you think there are inherent negative connotations to the word regime?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay.
That is a conversation Brian and I had before the show.
Oh, for sure.
Because he was saying he called Asha. He said he wanted to see. This was our first chance to see Asha Sharma on stage, which is true. And that he was excited to see what her regime would do. And I was like, no.
I said Phil Spencer's regime.
Yeah, that's right. The Phil Spencer regime. I was like, I don't think he did active harm, so I don't think we should call it a regime. Maybe just under his leadership.
Ooh.
And he was like, yeah. He was like, is that negative? I was like, yeah, I think it is, especially in the current environment. Like,
I mean, regime implies empire, and like empire is just not a neutral word. I feel like young me was psyoped into believing that it was a neutral like descriptor, but it's not,
No, it's a negative one,
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of like negative like subtext, I feel like, under it,
Us, yeah.
What did we think? It occurs to me that I think this is like that we are now in an entirely like post Todd Howard universe, because now Bethesda doesn't have any kind of its own independent showcase, which means that there's no place that Todd Howard can get on a stage and say fuck once a year.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I'm good with that.
Yeah, it seems fine by me too.
Well,
I feel like we'll see. I think we'll see Todd Howard again when Elder Scrolls like 6 is officially like the date and stuff are released. I feel like they'll cart him out and be like, "Hello, time to do the meme thing. Here you go," and that'll be it.
Yeah. So what did we think? Overall, what do we think of the Microsoft showcase? Because like this was Microsoft, I guess, like attempting to like re-debut. Did they do a good job of rebooting themselves?
Well, I'm biased, so I can't really say. But what I would say is that they were definitely playing the old hits. And while I've never actually been an Xbox guy, if they wanted me to become one, they didn't make a great case.
I think they did a great job of reappealing to Xbox people.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up the list of the stuff we saw. Let's see here. They led off with Gears of War E-Day.
Mm-hmm.
Liked that grocery store. Liked those cars.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, man.
Yeah, but it still was just big, beefy dudes with shotguns and stuff. So like, I guess if you like that, it is more of that.
Alex was messaging me during the showcase, and he really enjoyed the way that the cover system looks like it's going to be working. He thought it was neat.
For sure.
Then they showed us Fable. I'm kind of a sucker for that. I enjoyed the first Fable very much.
Fable has its fans.
Yeah. They showed us the remake of Halo Campaign Evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm into that, but I'm like, but also like it didn't like shake the earth, Like I would much. It's kind of like the way Tegan feels about like the Ocarina of Time remake. It's like whatever. Like it's the first Halo. Like what are we ultimately getting out of like remaking it? It kind of feels like a zero-sum game. Like it because it's not a new game, it can't be revolutionary enough to be interesting. And like the original Halo, like Ocarina of Time, is a classic. Like what? It just feels very like not dangerous as a choice, or not. I won't even say dangerous. It doesn't feel particularly interesting.
Sure.
And then we saw the new Plague Tale, Resonance, a Plague Tale Legacy.
That's gonna be good. I already know that's gonna be good.
It did look pretty good.
Yeah. Persona 4 Revival.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think looks sharp. Because it has to look enough like Persona 4, which is familiar, that it's like immediately has a like recognizable visual aesthetic, but also like it has to look more sharp and clean than like say a 15-year-old Vita game. I think it did a good job of that. State of Decay 3. Didn't really do much for anything for me. Then they showed Sea of Thieves with the rollout of like custom servers and custom game modes.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better, and I don't know if this would have been possible for them. But I think custom game modes for Sea of Thieves would have performed better, I guess. In 2020. You know, it feels like a little late, but like I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah. I think if there had been custom game modes for Sea of Thieves in 2020, like it probably would have eaten at least some of Animal Crossing's lunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people already had Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
You know?
Then they showed us Metro 2039, which didn't really do much of anything for me. Then Bad Magpie, which I thought was so adorable and cute.
It does look cute.
Yeah.
It feels similar to like Untitled Goose Game, you know?
Yeah.
And the like the lineless art aesthetic and the like I am a magpie and I'm doing somewhat naughty things, ha ha ha, you know.
He's just a rascal. He want to have fun.
It also features, and I am going to say this, it features a disabled main character. Because the magpie's only got one wing.
Yeah. Then Wolong 2, Wings of Ember, from Team Ninja.
Are you, Brian, here, are you just listing every game that they talked about, or are you only listing games that you're excited about?
I for the Xbox Showcase, I am pulling up everything.
Why?
So yeah. Then there was the Join Us, the game about organizing and making a cult.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they saw Cult of the Lamb, and we're like, we can do that.
I thought that too. I thought that it was like, oh man, like for people who wanted like photorealistic graphics for Cult of the Lamb, this is their video game. But another thought that I'm having right now is that like people who played, oh god, hold on, I don't want to mess up the title because I know damn it, what's the name of that like third person shooter? They had Giancarlo Esposito do like one in like not Cuba. Far Cry. It's like people saw Far Cry 4 and they were like, man, what if we could do that? What if we could be them instead? And that's what this video game is.
I think you mean
is it Far Cry 5?
Yeah, it's Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5 is the one. Yeah,
Far Cry 4 is the one with the best villain. Far Cry 5 is the one that's like in Montana.
Okay. That's fine by me. Like, but like, yeah, I think like we're about 8 years away from it now. Well, like it'll be 9 by the time the game actually comes out. But it's like, yeah, what if we just like do it, but now you're the other side? But man, I don't know. Like, I
think it could be. It looks like it's goofy enough that it won't feel like Cult of the Lamb was cute enough that the cult stuff was tolerable, you know? Sure. And this one feels goofy enough that the realism will be tolerable, you know? Like I feel like they're striking a very delicate balance here.
For sure. Yes,
And
Lux.
I'm not entirely sure how well they're going to hit it, but it'll
I
be
think them
silly.
making it a co-op experience is probably meaningful. Probably
Mm-hmm.
not in the way that I can recognize at the moment. Because, like, if I remember correctly, I know Cult of the Lamb didn't like ship with like co-op. I can't remember if the DLC added co-op or if it was like a just a modded experience.
Mm-hmm.
But them providing that from the jump is probably a better idea.
Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
Especially if they're expecting you to be silly goofy goobers, like what better way to be a silly goofy goober than with your friends? You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Then they showed a Senua.
Senua's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Senua
I
continues to
think
be great.
I think they got over their slump. Like I not to say that the second game was bad, it just wasn't as good as the first. And I think that this is more of a return to form, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that seems fair. It looks good.
Hmm.
We got some Doom: The Dark Ages DLC with hell freezing over.
Sure.
Yeah.
For people who play Doom, do you think they're actually going to be using it as like a bridge, you know?
To
Like a
what?
bridge between like the Dark Ages and the 2016 game? Between those two games?
Oh. I have no idea. Also, I don't
Oh,
play
okay.
Doom.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
fair.
is that.
Yeah.
I thought that chainsaw shield looked pretty fly.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like for me, the appeal of Doom has always been like two things: like incredibly fast movement and like punchy weapons. Um, and like that trailer where they're showing like, okay, like here's parts where you're like your Doom guy is doing sustained flight by whipping things midair. Um, that looks fun. That looks fun. Let's see here. Then they showed us the Xbox Series X 25th anniversary edition with the translucent green body.
Yeah, I support this. I support this 100%. I want it. I don't play Xbox. I want it. I want the return of translucent tech. You know?
Sure.
I think it looks good.
Age of Empires 4, a real granddad game. Minecraft
It's a
Dungeons 2.
granddad game. I think it's just like a game for a particular niche of people, you know? That's like saying Civilization is like a granddad game. It's not.
I feel like there's more not granddads that play Civ than not granddads that play Age of Empires.
Honestly, when I was coming up, it was a pretty like even split. They have their fans.
Okay. So yeah, there was Magicians, the Devil's Deal.
There are people who are going to love the shit out of that game. It will not be me, but like, I hope you guys have fucking fun. Sincerely,
I hope it's good.
I think it's going to be fine, TM, but it's made for a particular kind of guy. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is a game that is going to prompt some obnoxious cosplay.
Oh, sure, that's fine.
That's not a bad thing though.
Yeah, that's okay. What I'm more concerned about is, oh no, Brian. We talk about so many terrible people on this show that I just forget their names. Who's the guy that left the flash drive
Randy
at medieval
Pitchford?
times?
Oh.
Yeah, this is gonna be Randy Pitchford's game of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's cool. Have fun,
God.
dude. It's not gonna be for me, but like, and I'm not going to watch it. But they're like, hey man, you play anything lately? Like, dude, I've been playing The Magicians, The Devil's Bargain. It's been super sick. It's like, you know what? That's great, dude. Like, happy for you, you know? You know what I mean?
You want to pull a rabbit out of my pants? No, Randy.
No, Randy, I'm good, actually. But it's nice of you to offer, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't nice of you to offer, but I understand that you're offering.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one.
God. You see, like, as soon as you say awful person plus magic, I knew exactly who we were talking about. Like,
that was the plan.
There could be only one.
I think it'd be really funny if it were a bait and switch. You know?
I'm listening.
Like, it's there to bait in the Randy Pitchford style dudes, you know?
Sure.
And then they swap it out for something that's like a little higher brow. And then they're all like, wait, games can be like this? And then it just like, it turns them into a different person, you know?
I'd love for them to feel really terrible about making this deal with the devil. Like, you know, like starting out, they're like, yeah, I made this deal with the devil. Look at all these cool powers. This is super sick. And then, like, you know, they get like Spec Ops the Lined. And then, like, they're like, wait. And that could be great. That could be a lot of fun.
You mean every time I pull a rabbit out of my pants, it has to come from somewhere?
Oh, God.
Every rabbit that I pull from my pants is torn from its family?
Oh my God.
Something like that.
No. Like, are there that many Randy Pitchfords out there? Oh, you know what? There has to be, because like, Borderlands has a whole audience.
Brian, you know that fucking mansion they have out in, like, it's not San Francisco. It's outside of LA? Like the Magician's Guild or whatever?
You mean the Magic Castle?
The Magic Castle. That's the one. There are not only the people who go to the Magic Castle, but the people who, like, dream of going to the Magic Castle. That is a particular kind of guy.
Magic, you know what I mean? Assholes. He's stage magic for assholes.
It's not just for assholes, but assholes hang out in those spaces. Like, they gain power there, and they're not checked by, like, the rest of the world. They're insulated.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I think we're talking about a Venn diagram here, which is kind of concentric circles, not necessarily like a case of overlap. I'm just wondering, are there people into stage magic who are not assholes?
Yes.
What percentage of stage magic? Like, are we talking like 15%, 10%? Like, how hard is it to find a stage magician who's not a jerk?
Dude, I have to say, I'd be surprised if it was more than 15. And I would straight up not believe you if you told me it was more than 40.
I am reminded, and I'll get through it quickly because we obviously want to stick to video games, but I watched the TV show Hacks, and they just finished their final season. And there was a very funny plot line in the final season where the character Ava starts dating a sex worker, and she's very proud of it. She's like, yeah, he's an escort, and I'm dating a sex worker. You know, sex work is work and all that. And then she also finds out that he's a stage magician.
Oh, fuck.
And then she's like, well, now I have to dump him.
Okay, I feel like there's two sections of stage magicians who are not jerks.
Sure.
The first is like the maybe like up to 8%-ish of stage magicians who are women. I feel like they're excluded, you know? Okay. And then of the remaining group, I think any stage magician who is also a professional clown is not a jerk. But I don't know what that Venn diagram looks like. Because I feel like a lot of clowns do know some stage magic. It just may not be like cutting people in half, but like card tricks and stuff, like that, the sleight of hand kind of things, the pulling critters out of other places, that's all clown magic, you know? And clowns categorically cannot be assholes. If you're an asshole clown, you're just a mime.
Okay, how about stage magicians who focus on like cartomancy, like your card magicians?
Yeah, the sleight of hand magicians.
Like whose toolkit?
There are card people. I feel like there are card people that have stage magician like ability that choose not to be stage magicians. And like that's because like I don't know. I think there is something specific that happens when you choose to be a stage magician or an illusionist. You know what I mean? Because like there are other applications of those skills, and I feel like the people who remain like illusionists tend to be jerks. That's where I'm at.
I mean, stage magicians were like V1 of the Reddit atheist.
What does that mean?
They're like, do you want to see me pull a rabbit out of my pants? By the way, God isn't real. I don't know why so many stage magicians are on about that so loudly. Like Houdini was very much like God's not real.
Well, like, dude, it's like I feel like being a magician is low key like being like priest light, you know, but without the devotion to God. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like they're the people who like find that they're able to like influence and like, for lack of a better term at this moment, manipulate people, but like not in the name of a higher power, just because of the gifts that they physically have or whatever.
Yeah. Now I just want to fight Penn and Teller.
Are Penn and Teller bad?
Well, Penn Jillette for years, and you know what? I'll give him credit for this. Like he has since walked away from this position, but for years, Penn Jillette was like, "Well, the only political position that makes any sense is libertarianism."
I feel like that's just a trap that like men fall into.
It is a trap that men often fall into. I don't know if it's just a trap, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he has since clawed himself out of it, and he has since been like, "Oh, you know, like I don't recognize the Libertarian Party," and I just want to be like, "Bro, plenty of us could like, had you been accepting memos, like lots of people would have told you that like any political party, which is like founded on the idea that like don't examine the consequences of your actions on other people, is gonna be dog shit, like just." Ugh. But I like that number, like 15%. 15% of stage musicians, probably not terrible. Maybe 15% max, but like, Randy Pitchford.
It could be more, but I would be surprised. That's where I'm at.
You know? Yeah.
Then they showed us a trailer for Valor Mortis. If you asked me anything about Valor Mortis right now, even though I saw it less than 2 hours ago, I would die. I think maybe it was a shooter. That's about all I got. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. That was the one that was like starring Vincent Cassel as Napoleon.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then they announced that they were rolling out a Thieves Guild expansion for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Then they showed us Microsoft Flight Simulator with a bunch of fucking blimps and
balloons.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was only one blimp actually, but it was like my blimp. That's my blimp. It can't be there. Why is it there? That's not where it belongs. Incredible.
They're doing a national park like thing that they're doing with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and like I can't help but notice how little they're doing to protect national parks in the real world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're making some choices, that's for sure.
Yeah, choices are definitely being made.
I wonder if... I don't think this is what's going to happen, but part of me wonders if they will, like, part of the reason that they're doing the current flight simulator in national parks is to get people to look at national parks and be like, oh yeah, that's right, we like these things. We should do something about that, you know? But I don't think
be benevolent of them.
I don't think that's what's happening. But it would be nice. Right. It could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then they showed us Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
Oh yeah, you had a question about this when we were watching it, Brian. Konami outsourced this to Evil Empire. And Evil Empire is the spin-off of Motion Twin, creators of Dead Cells, to continue development on Dead Cells while Motion Twin focuses on new projects. And I do actually remember that a like Dead Cells dev Castlevania was like due, but I don't think we had a real trailer for it.
Well, it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love the look.
I'm just glad that they let them touch Castlevania, because Dead Cells definitely does the work.
Then they showed us Vivarium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can confirm that it is a video game.
Yeah. Which anime-ass looking game. But it looked neat and chill. Then there was that kind of like underwhelming Persona 6 reveal.
Oh, they just wanted to confirm that it's real.
I don't think it was underwhelming. It's par for the Persona reveals.
Yeah, Brian, if you are interested, you can look into what the P5 reveal showed us, and it was basically nothing. And then
wasn't it just a brain platform?
No, it was 6.
Not even.
It was 6 chairs with ball and chain attached to them, and that was the whole thing.
Yep. And then it was another 4 months before we even saw the protagonist, and people started calling him Potter-kun.
Yeah, I'll give it. I put it in our group chat. This is what it looked like. That was all they got. Isn't that wild? That was the whole thing.
We saw a new Spyro game.
Yeah!
That looks great. I'm happy for the Spyro people.
I'm happy for whatever furry redesigned Spyro. Good for them. Glad they got some work.
Hell yeah.
Then Clockwork Revolution.
Oh yeah.
Which Microsoft obviously thinks is going to be a big deal. Because what they made a point of flagging the exclusives in the presentation. They're like, Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution are exclusives. And they showed some stuff that looked like gameplay of Clockwork Revolution, but they didn't do a lot of talking about Clockwork Revolution. So who knows? I know that in the past Microsoft has done something that feels like a Treehouse Direct, but is not named that after their show where they play games and talk about them. So hopefully they'll talk more about this. It seemed like a game that was leaning into co-op, but I might just be putting that on the game. It was also a game. Like that. Yeah, it also looked like a game where there was going to be some pretty extensive mechanics around reconfiguring your environment through time travel. So I'd like to know more. The vibes I got were very, very Borderlands. You were listen to these characters cuss and stuff. And then a funny looking helpful robot character showed up. I was like, oh, this is so Borderlands. And then they closed with more COD stuff. Please check out this COD DLC.
That's when we left, but they are probably still talking about God of War, or not God of War, Gears of War. E-Day.
Yeah. Yeah. very little talking head in the presentation. Like they open with Asher Sharma and they close with Matt Booty, and that is the current leadership over there.
I think talking heads are kind of dead, man.
Yeah, like, man, I don't know. I miss talking heads.
I mean,
when I think back to my favorite E3 moments,
mm-hmm.
they all revolve around people.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, like Todd Howard or Mr. Caffeine or Kumi Nakamura, or what was the name of that guy at Ubisoft who was in charge of the Mario and Rabbids game? And
I forgot that guy's name.
Yeah. And you remember when he got called out by a Miyamoto, for his work, and he just and he has this big beautiful meltdown because he's so proud, and I don't think that guy works at Ubisoft anymore.
I don't believe so either. No.
Yeah, I think he's got his own studio. Yeah. So I guess we've. I think the only major presentation left is I think there's still an Apple presentation, which for some reason they've scheduled for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the major ones are over, and like I said, there was a shit ton of tiny ones, and stuff might have cropped up here and there, but
I don't know, man. Brian, I gotta ask you something, and I really want you to consider it for a moment. What makes a presentation major?
I think it's the number of eyes that are going to be on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can hang out my shingle and be like, I'm having the Brian Cartwright Direct, and I could show a game, right?
Sure.
But who's gonna watch the Brian Cartwright Direct?
The reason I bring it up is because personally, because we've been following these kind of announcement seasons for nearly a decade now, and when I think about the ones that mattered the most to me, it was about what they were showing, regardless of how big they were. A lot of the best ones in my memory were done by Devolver Digital.
Oh, for sure. Okay,
and Devolver Digital, over the age of this show, was basically a nobody, and now they're a $1 billion company. And that's. I feel like the announcements is what matters, and sure, the big guys probably have more access to the announcements that matter, given conventional wisdom. But I don't know. I've been watching some of these announcements, and I feel like they matter less to me these days. And so I don't know if I would put them above some of these other presentations. I would argue that the Wholesome Direct was probably more consequential than State of Play, if I'm being honest with you.
There was one thing that really stuck out to me watching the Microsoft show, which is that because so many developers who are playing in the AAA space now are chasing intense realism as an aesthetic.
Sure.
So many of these games just all look the fucking same.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're okay, your car is going to look like your car because like you're both trying to make cars look realistic, or like you've rendered a coffee mug and a shotgun, and your coffee mug and shotgun look like that person's coffee mug and shotgun because you're both just chasing realism. And like there were definitely a few moments during the presentation where like, oh, are they showing us like a game again, or before they would like pop a title card, because like stuff just, you know, like they're like when everything's chasing the same aesthetic, then like everything looks the same. Which is probably like why I popped so hard for, you know, like stuff that didn't look like that, like Magpie and you know, Persona 4 Revival, like where they're it's not that samey, you know, like hyper real aesthetic.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Like honestly, a lot of this stuff has looked like business as usual for me. Like there are a few things that like I've been waiting on, and things that I've been like expecting, like Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendant and like Truth Scrapper. And there are a couple of surprises, you know. One that I haven't mentioned yet is apparently Cassette Beasts is doing a sequel to their game. Cassette Beasts is like a monster collecting game that features like young adults as opposed to children as characters, and features like the ability to like fuse like beats as like a core mechanic. And apparently their new game, Cassette Beats 2002, was accidentally announced yesterday, but they have circled back around, and now it's apparently truly announced. They have a trailer. You have 240 beasts that can, and all of them are fusible. So there are actually 50,000 bespoke combinations with real animations for them. And so that'll be sick. And it's a thing that like definitely skated under people's radar simply because it's not made by the Pokemon company, you know? Yeah. And I feel like I'm getting the updates that I'm looking out for. Like the field seems bigger, and like while I agree that most things don't actually float to the top, and I think part of that is just because of the sheer volume of information, but like I don't know, I feel like the channels that I've been like building out over the years are starting to work. Like I'm starting to get like able to access the information about the games that I care about, or the games that I could care about, and I think that's cool. So, and because of that, I guess I feel less beholden to like the traditional forms of media. Like I just got charged for my second year of Game Informer magazines.
Right.
And I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the show, but like I have not really been reading those. Like I've been notified of the covers that keep showing up in the mail. They're wrapped in plastic. And I look at the cover of like the things that like they suggest are inside, and like I feel like those aren't the stories that I'm chasing anymore, you know? Like they've just been sitting on a shelf. I think I might end up a whole another year of those. I'm going to seriously consider if I'm going to do it again next year. But I don't know. I feel like the old channels have either been actively destroyed or left to rot, but like it feels like the information is still moving out there. And I guess I'm like, I guess asking you to consider that maybe the things that you might be interested in are not coming from the sources that you normally expect.
Yeah, like I definitely recognize that like there are channels which are going to have stuff which I am personally interested in. And I don't want to create the impression that I'm like denigrating those games or those channels. Like I use major solely to like refer to volume of existing eyeballs.
For sure.
Yeah. So I hope that has been cleared up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. But speaking of those little presentations with those diamonds in the rough and those hidden gems, any else from one of those that strike you and you go like, I gotta wish list that, or I gotta keep track of that?
I think I talked about most of the things that jumped out to me. I can't remember where this store or where this one was announced, but there is another like word-based Balatro like that was announced, called Lexi Spell.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, it's like instead of like playing on like a Scrabble board, like that other game I think I talked about, Between Words, it was made by the Time Splitter people. Um, this one like throws like an assortment of words like in a backpack, kind of like almost like Tetris like. Um, and like and then you just try to build a word out of the letters that are in your backpack. But they introduce things like words that are or letters that are like, you know, represented as gems, and like multipliers for like assembling words in particular ways. Like there is a effectively a joker that you can pick up that will give you like 10 times mult for a palindrome, or like if you use like a common like vowel or consonant, it gives a chance of like a gemmed letter showing up on your next pull, like stuff like that. It's not quite a deck that you really. It's not a deck builder, I think, is what I'd have to say. Um, but it does seem to borrow from like the round organization that Balatro has made like I guess popular. Um, there's also another silly demo that well, like I played Wild Blue Skies, which is like the Star Fox like,
Right.
and it does feel like Star Fox to the left, which is interesting. I only played through it once, but I haven't really touched it since then. 33 Immortals is nearly done. It's apparently going to go into 1.0 soon, and they have a new demo out for that. I played a Fail Girl deck builder called Project Solaris, where you take like a magic school dropout who manages to create a homunculus in this. You are basically working with her day by day until she like becomes a like honest to god mage. Let me see. I still have access to the Demon Bluff playtest. Oh wait, no, I don't. I think that's gone now. Damn. And there was a demo for something I was just looking at, but it has like a bit of a convoluted title. Let me see if I can find it one more time. Ah, yes, it is Riz Dungeon, Skeleton Key to My Heart, which apparently is coming out in September, which is
Okay. Have to look this up.
yeah. Yeah, it's basically a CRPG. But like there's like a dating sim like component to it. And instead of fighting the monsters, you're basically like courting monster girls to do the fighting for you as you explore the dungeons. Um, and that seems silly. So I was gonna check out that demo soon too. Um, oh, and there's another game called Patience is a Virtue that I'm interested in looking into. Which is a game that's largely about communication. Like you are a recent graduate returning to their hometown, but you're chronically ill and you're having trouble finding healthcare, and like you don't recognize the town that you grew up in, and you're also being haunted by like a ghost or something. So that seems neat. And there's like an 8-bit uh like courier game called Pedal Runner that um was announced like a year and a half ago by I Am 8-bit. Um, and that now has a playable demo, no release date yet, but I wanted to mess around with it, so it's on my list of things to do.
See these this Riz Dungeon. It's from the makers of Turnip Boy.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Just briefly touching, like, because we spent so much time on stuff just coming out and is not yet out this week. I just wanted to very briefly mention that I am about halfway through 007 First Light right now.
Word.
How
do you
is
feel
it?
about it?
I'm loving it, y'all. I am loving it, loving it, loving it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. We need more games in the AA space, everyone. Like, and like I just had my first big moment in the game where I got super popped by something because they knew that like there was a certain percentage of the audience that was certain percentage of the audience that is here from the Hitman games. I was wandering around this like giant fancy hotel in Slovakia, and while I was wandering around this giant hotel in Slovakia, I come up to this bar and I ask a bartender about this guy I've been following, who's this kind of like creepy blonde guy. And one of the things that I have in my options is, hey, anything you'd recommend? Any good drinks? And the bartender proceeds to say, like, well, I make a mean bare knuckle boxer. And the bare knuckle boxer is a drink that you used to assassinate a target from Hitman 1. So I'm being surprised at all the. I'm enjoying all the little cheeky nods to Hitman.
That's
one
cool,
of the things that you could never do in Hitman, like Hitman did not contain working elevators. It was a huge point of contention. There were lots of elevator shafts, which had no cars in them. Elevators were always persistently out of order. But it's fun to see like like check out our working elevator. We finally made a working elevator. And it's fun to be like running around a level. Then I realize I now have to do like driving to get to the next location part of the level, or the way that they integrate open world puzzle solving spaces with like with social routine puzzles, with like semi-linear sections where you're trying to like stay quiet, stay hidden. It's working out. The fellow playing Bond is good. The score is great. The Lana Del Rey theme song, a good time.
Well, that's great, man. I'm glad you're having a good time.
Yeah, sorry, like I'm running out of steam here. I just started Mina the Hollower last night, so I don't feel like I have enough to say yet.
Oh, Mina the Hollower is sick, man. This is a great time.
My ass.
I mean, it's a little tough.
It's like I've heard it described as, and from what I can see, it's true. It's like Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's like exactly what it is.
Explain why it's kicking my ass.
Yeah, probably. But like, just like, I hope that prepares you a little more for the ass kicking. You know,
y'all is it time to stop podcasting and unpack these Nokia N-Gauges?
Sure, man.
Okay. Rocky, take us home.
Wanted to engage. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out. This has been the Impossible Coin podcast. You can find where podcasts are found, and again, we have an N-Gauges for sale. So if you want an N-Gauge, please find Brian wherever you can. But don't bother him too much on social media, which means do not bother him on the Impossible Coin Blue Sky. I guess if you ask me on the Impossible Coin Facebook or Instagram, I might be able to point you in the right direction. And if you bother Tegan on the Impossible Coin Tumblr, I imagine she will simply ignore you. There is music at the beginning and end of this show is produced by our kid brother, now potentially family man, Big Sach. You could find his work on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/BigSachNJ, or you could follow his band on Bandcamp at betweenrooms.bandcamp.com. Our logo was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on social media at Lauren Moran, and she does manage a Patreon where she does incredibly good work. Consider supporting her. And we stream a couple days a week on Twitch. You can find us at twitch.tv/ImpossibleCoin. And in every instance of Impossible Coin, there are no dashes or underscores or anything like that. It's just the two words smashed together. And if you see someone who's trying to be us, but it looks a little different, please let us know. We'd like to do something about that. But that's us. That's the show.
I do want to point out that the one exception to that is the Impossible Coin Patreon, which we are not using right now, but there are 2 of those, and we own both of them.
Yeah, that's true. We do own both of those.
Don't worry about that one. That's us also. Yeah. Not, but, you know, it's fine.
All right. Yeah, I was just trying to think, is there anything else that we need? And no, there isn't. So I guess that's it. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for podcasting.
It's